Today, Thursday, March the 17th, we celebrate the feast of Patrick, patron saint of Ireland. This is generally felt to be the date of his death. There is a variance of several years in the dates of his birth, his mission in Ireland, and of his death. The date of birth arguably occurred about the year 389, and then his mission in Ireland between the years 430 and 461 or 63. And arguably, he died at the age of about 72 years. It is believed that Patrick was born and educated along the western coast of then Roman Britain. His grandfather, Potitus, was a priest. His father, Calpurnius, was a deacon and local magistrate, and his formal name was Megorius Succatus Patricius. Patrick was a lover of nature from his youth. At about age 16, he was kidnapped by pirates, taken to Ireland, and sold as a slave. According to his study, The Wisdom of St. Patrick, by acclaimed writer Colm Tobin, 6 years of hard servitude in Northern Ireland saw him a literal shepherd, imbibing the beauty of the countryside and becoming intoxicated with the presence of God that he felt in the natural surroundings and in the hearts of the people he met. The connection Patrick felt between the natural beauty of the land and the open, loving, and generous hearts of its people was the beginning of his journey to being not merely a missionary to Ireland, but its apostle and patron saint. On the other hand, as Patrick himself wrote, I was chastened exceedingly and humbled every day in hunger and nakedness. Whereas previously he had been relatively indifferent in his faith, now he spent his long days among the flocks, reciting endlessly the prayers impressed on his memory since childhood. Following 6 years of captivity, he was able to escape and found a place on a boat to the European mainland. After further adventures, he made it to his home. Study for the priesthood in Gaul followed, and then, inspired by dreams in which Irish voices called him to come back there, he overcame self-concerns, and in the early 430s, by this time a consecrated bishop, he returned to the island from which he had once fled. His appointment as a successor to the first bishop of Ireland, Palladius, met some opposition because of Patrick's lack of education. Early on, he ministered principally in the north and established his see at Armagh, a choice possibly determined by the presence of a powerful king nearby who would offer protection. There he also founded a school, which became the base of his various missionary journeys. His success in making converts, ordaining clergy, and consecrating virgins was astonishing. Patrick's writings reveal a person of sincere simplicity and deep pastoral concern. His meaningful biographical confessions ends with the words, I beg of those who believe and fear God, whoever shall deign to look into or receive this writing, which Patrick the sinner, unlearned indeed, has written in Ireland, let it be most truly believed that it has been the gift of God. Thirdly treasured are the 3 remarkable works attributed to the saint. Firstly, there is the story presented in the 62 paragraphs of his Confessions. Then there is a letter to the soldiers of Cathedral, offering prayers to those recently martyred converts, and also the moving lyrica, translated armor or breastplate, the hymn of St. Patrick. These bare historically verifiable facts are important in balancing popular legends about the saint that have grown up around his name. Explanation of the Trinity with the use of a shamrock being, of course, the most notable. In any event, his popularity grew over the centuries and flourishes today worldwide, as in his patronage of Nigeria. Certainly it stands out here in the United States. There is the special cathedral dedicated to him in New York. There are parades. There is patronage of the Catholic Ancient Order of Hibernians, and 2 churches here in the Washington Archdiocese. One special coincidence between St. Patrick and the Cathedral of St. Matthew here in Washington concerns the Saul family, who contributed much through the years to the cathedral's establishment. There is a small Irish village named Saul next to Downpatrick in County Down, which can claim to be the cradle of Christianity in Ireland. Patrick and his companions are thought to have landed at the mouth of the Slaney River a few miles from there about the year 432, when he arrived back for his mission. Providentially, he encountered Dishu, the local chieftain, who allowed him the use of a barn for shelter. And the word for barn in Irish was sapal, from which we get the anglicized word Saul. From here he traveled extensively, and it was here that he died on this date, March 17th, 461. He was subsequently buried in a cemetery outside Down Cathedral. Growing up in Ireland, my mother told me this was a very sacred day. Patrick's 30 years as a wandering bishop in Ireland are wrapped in a combination of legend and historical record. He established the primacy of Armagh and a network of churches and monasteries throughout the country in the hands of native clergy. He personally baptized thousands of the faithful and ordained hundreds of priests. His influence over the centuries has spread worldwide. His extraordinary return to the site of his oppression needs to be appreciated. His spiritual conquest of Ireland followed the victory of love over the anger and bitterness that had to have grown in his own heart. Colm Tóibín offers these telling words on Patrick's spiritual conquest of Ireland. I pray, Heavenly Father, for the quality of faith that St. Patrick possessed in such great measure. He believed that he had a purpose in this world of woes. He believed with a vivid purity that allowed no room for doubt. May I be given such faith that will sustain me in difficult times, illuminate my thoughts about God, give me strength and conviction in human relationships. Fill me up with faith, Heavenly Father, that I may believe in your goodness and be of service to others. Or, in other words, good St. Patrick certainly followed the axiom, don't just keep the faith, spread it.